So welcome, thank you for joining us. Today it's all about team performance, and today I've got two gurus in this area that I've invited along to join us. First of all, I'll quickly introduce Ash Pemberton because he's my boss, and so I need to look after him very, very carefully. So Ash is the founder of a design organization, design agency called Overnight.Design, and they basically service blue chip and global businesses providing business design services. They will typically provide their information, and his team will work through the night and producing the designs ready for them the next day. So welcome, Ash.
Thank you very much, Simon. I've got a lovely introduction.
Did I get a point? Was that about right?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Good. Okay, good. Well, that's a good start then. And then we've also got Neil Shah. Neil, I've actually known for also a very long time, probably 12, 14 years. I'm not sure exactly, but known each other for a very long time. Neil's both an author and the founder of several stress-related businesses, including International Wellbeing Insights and stress.org. Welcome,
wonderful.
Neil.
Thanks for having me,
How are
Simon.
Absolute pleasure, absolute pleasure. So we're going to dive right in. Today's all about team performance, and actually just a sort of little pre-bit. And I might seem that these two businesses are very different, which they are, but actually serve a similar audience. And whilst Neil provides, well, Neil can describe this better than I can, but works with big companies to facilitate their staff, make sure they are operating at the highest possible level, dealing with any sort of stress and anxiety issues that there may be. And the underlying goal, of course, is always about performance. In a slightly different way, Overnight.Design takes the workload off of, they typically work with management consultants, marketing consultants, and they remove that sort of burden from them. They're not designers. To remove that burden, we found that their performance then increases massively. So that's the underlying reason why we're all on this call today. So I'm going to start with you, Neil, if I may. How is it that you can help and the companies that you work with to improve team performance?
Well, firstly, I want to take a step back. When you were introducing us, you said you'd like to introduce two gurus. Ash may well be, I definitely am not. I describe myself more as a witness. In fact, I'd go as far as saying I'm a guru slayer, because anybody that purports to be a guru may not necessarily be doing what's in your best interest, but maybe doing what's in their best interest. What I am is a witness. I have been, and again, you described it as I run two stress-related businesses. In fact, I'm hoping I will run the reverse of two stress-related businesses, which is two wellbeing businesses that are the antidote and the solution to stress, mental health, poor culture, and all of the things that are likely to have an impact on productivity, performance, output, and staff wellbeing and happiness. So, firstly, Stress Management Society is a non-profit organisation that I set up in 2003 to provide advice support guides to both individuals and organisations that experience stress and poor mental health and want to understand what to do about it. And International Wellbeing Insights is a research consultancy organisation that works now with some of the largest companies on the planet, and also does a lot of national level consulting to really understand sort of what are the trends and the challenges that we're facing, do a lot of research around insights, and really work to develop best practice strategies to allow us to navigate these uncertain, challenging times. Particularly now, we're living in a Black Mirror dystopian version of reality. We really need all the tools we can get. And so going back to that point around sort of guru versus witness, in the last 20 years, we've had the opportunity to work with millions of people and thousands of companies, and now coming on to about a dozen countries. We've got a good sense of the human experience, the human condition, the challenges that take us out of balance, and what we would need to do to drive a high performance culture of which well-being sits at the very center. And you know, that culture of well-being isn't just a pink and fluffy high five and hugging each other in the corridors and, you know, drinking smoothies and eating fruit and all the rest of it. Yeah, those are nice to do things. And, you know, people often think that this is doing yoga in the morning and meditation in the afternoon. And those things are all wonderful. And I'm not here to knock them. But actually what I'm talking about is a business strategy which is looking at and aligning with ensuring that you are getting maximum value from a business's most valuable asset, which is its people. And often when companies are coming up with their business strategies, they look at sales and marketing and growth and so on and so forth, but they don't really fully appreciate the impact that's going to have on people, and how are we ensuring your people at the very center of that, particularly over the last 12 months. You know, where work for most of us up until early 2020 was a destination. It was a place you go to. Overnight, work went from being a destination to being an activity. That might sound like I'm being pedantic, but there's a massive difference between the two. What do we do to support our people with extraordinary circumstances, significantly increased pressures, and the fact that most of our lives are now run exactly as we are today, off a Zoom, Teams or Skype call? We're having less social interaction and more screen time. And is that improving productivity, or is that just increasing pressure?
Yeah, interesting points. I know I maybe scored a point off Ash. I think I lost a couple of points with you at the start there, so that evens things out. So just to go into a little bit more detail, what might be some of the activities, advice, or exercise that you might give a company to help facilitate that and to improve that performance element?
Well, firstly, it's understanding the experience people are having. Often we jump straight to looking for solutions without really understanding what the question is. I would suggest taking on board what I would call a wellbeing GPS approach. You get in your car, you want to program the sat nav. It needs two pieces of information to work effectively. It needs to know start position, where I am right now, destination, where I want to get to. Without those two pieces of information, it's next to impossible, well, not next to impossible, it is practically impossible to calculate a route map. How can it do so without knowing those two pieces of information? People often approach us and say, oh, we want to do something for stress. We want to show our staff we care. We want to do something around well-being or resilience. My reaction to that would be exactly the same as with a sat nav. Where are you right now? What's your current start position? What management data can you provide on output, productivity, performance, absenteeism, accidents, injuries, etc., etc.? What's your endpoint? What does success look like? How will you know when you've arrived at that position? Without those two pieces of information, how can I calculate a wellbeing route? So that starts with any consultancy assignment. Would be the key start point would be an audit. So do an audit of where I am right now. Have some kind of clarity as to what is the vision? What's your 3 to 5 year plan around people, culture, and well-being? And then we can start to look at the route map to get you there. What are the pinch points? What are the challenges? What are the areas that are preventing your people from operating the best? Where's the stress coming from? Where is the overload? What are the things that could be streamlined, or we could develop new processes around? What are the things that we could outsource? What are the things that we could turn to technology to provide our solutions for? And what are the ways that we can better equip our people with the tools, support, confidence, training, education, and skills to be able to deal with unusual, extraordinary, and new challenges, of which we're facing many at the moment.
So it sounds like a very holistic approach that you probably touched on lots of different areas. Obviously, the audit might reveal certain areas you need to focus on. Would that be
Absolutely. It could cover learning and development. It could include sort of technology. It could be health and safety, HR. It could be access to support resources like an employee assistance program, staff counselling, or health. There's such a broad range of things. Flexible working. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It could be around communication, collaboration. It could be around management efficacy. Do our managers have the tools and skills to be able to support their people? And also, are we expecting our people to do more than they have the capacity or capabilities to do? Now, we obviously do find ourselves in a world where there are economic challenges, and we don't have the ability to throw money at the solutions in the ways that we used to, like by hiring more people and expanding our teams. So I think this is where, what can we do to start unloading some of the challenges and activities that people face on a daily basis, by looking at, can they be outsourced, or can they be done by technology? AI now provides solutions for many industries. So what are the options we have available to us so we can get our people doing what is maximizing their contribution to the success of the business and taking away some of that extraordinary load?
Excellent. Okay, let me bring you in here, Ash, and similar question. So with the companies that you work with, how is it you can provide some assistance in their team performance?
Sure, sure. I mean, we are all about remote working, and we have been for 14 years. So we're very prepared for the eventualities that have come about in the last year. If anything, it's just really accentuated our philosophy, which is to reduce stress, reduce screen time, and reduce those late night frustrations, trying to do either a repetitive or a frustrating task that is not directly in your skill set. So for me, that is graphic design. We do that on an overnight basis for busy marketing professionals, management consultants, or anyone that just has a big presentation the next day. Those are exactly the type of people that should not be doing their own presentation design. And we provide an outsourced service where it's still incredibly personal. We know our clients, we know their work, but we're on the other side of the world and we work remotely. We utilize the time zones to work while they sleep. So they wake up incredibly excited, knowing that all the hard work they've put into their content has now been professionally designed and is ready for them to present. And it's about taking away that burden. It's about freeing up those extra hours where they're working late. Like I said, trying to do a design where you really shouldn't be doing that. You should be enjoying your family time, enjoying your night off, taking a break from the screen, and let designers do what they do best.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk about sort of, screen time being an issue. And of course, someone that probably spent more than a few hours yourself in front of the screen, as we all do, right?
Actually,
I know
that's where this passion comes from. I was in a screen 12 to 14 hours a day, sort of like my peak. So as you can probably see, I'm in a hotel room now. I'm in Koh Samui. I've worked remotely. I'm not like a working family holiday. So I have to make time for that. But the most important thing really is that I've had RSI. I've had incredibly bad eyes and headaches from trying to do 14 hours a day in front of a screen. So as well as taking that away from my clients, I also have to make sure that my staff aren't then facing that burden, and make sure that they're well supported and taking good breaks. And screen time is a big issue for me and something I'm quite passionate about.
Yeah, no. I also know that you did like a little bit of a survey a little while ago of your clients and basically asked them statistically what was the sort of performance achievements that have been achieved from them outsourcing their design. Do you remember some of the, because I think that's quite interesting information.
So, go on, enlighten me a little bit on that one, Si. I'm not quite
So
sure.
I remember, I think you basically did a survey of some of your customers and asked them what the benefits they found from outsourcing their design and service to you. I know that there was an increase in productivity. I know that there was an improvement in how many deals they were actually closing of the presentations that they were giving. Do you remember some of that information?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the main things that we try to do is increase the conversion rate of a presentation. So we do that with design, and we do that with typography and laying out the information. But there's a second element to that, and it's taking away that burden from the person who's about to present it the next day, freeing up their time so that they wake up feeling fresh and energized and ready to present the content. And I think that's really the essence. The other one is to provide confidence, presentation confidence, because if you're standing there and you've got a professionally designed presentation behind you, either on a screen or in the old days when we were presenting face to face, it gives you presentation confidence. You know that what you've got is an attractive, it's well branded, it's going to keep the marketing managers pleased because it's correct use of their branding and their imagery. So that was a big plus for my clients as well.
Yeah, you touched on something earlier, actually. I think it's a really interesting point about you also need to manage that inside your own team. So perhaps I'll come back to you, Neil, on that in terms of what some of the activities or things that you have introduced in your own teams that you have found has been beneficial to your internal team performance.
Well, I think particularly over the last 12 months is learning to collaborate and share information in a remote setting. It's a lot easier when you're in the office and you can kind of sit down and have a quick meeting, or you're kind of aware of what's going on around you. At the moment, we're not. So I think we've had to think about new and different ways of being able to collaborate. Before the whole pandemic scenario started, I think Teams was something we kind of used as a way of just maybe messaging each other when we were outside the office. Right now, like, it's something that is an integral part to the running of our business. Before, before March last year, if you're taking Teams away, it would have had zero impact. Right now, we wouldn't be able to operate without that platform. I'm not saying Teams is the only one. Obviously, other platforms are available, but I think it's important that you have a way of being able to engage and share and collaborate in a remote setting. I think that's really, really important. But as with what we promote for our clients, is also to understand where we are right now. So one of the things that we did was we did an internal audit to look at where we were, look at what the challenges and the pinch points were, and look at what was our plan and what were we going to put into place to ensure that we were going to address them. And what was interesting is obviously part of that process led to us collaborating on this app that we put together, the kind of little exercise you can do to really get a sense of sort of how well your team is performing, and really be able to connect you with some ideas and some approaches that you can take to really start exploring what more you can do to increase productivity, efficiency, performance, and in turn the well-being and happiness of your people.
Yeah, so you also touched on that. So probably a good time to mention this, that both of these organizations have basically come together and produce an online audit, so that anyone, and that's a free audit that anyone can take. I'll give out the URL in a moment. And so, we welcome everyone to come along, and it's just a handful of questions. I can't remember, it's like between 5 and 10 questions, I think, and it's kind of multiple choice. Instantly get a report, and then if you want to take it forward from there, you can contact Neil's organization or Ash and take that forward. I just want to come back to Ash to give you also a chance for that similar question about any sort of activities or exercises I think you've introduced into your team that you've found to be useful internally.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for us, it's about supporting each other. It can be an incredibly stressful job and always against tight deadlines. So the key thing that we really look for is to support each other, and offload work, split workloads, monitor each other. Don't leave one person with a single task. Just making sure that everyone is aware of each other's workloads, how much actually needs to be done by when, and then dividing that amongst the team. We also recently did a team retreat. One of the most important things that we found from my incredibly hardworking Thai design team was that what they valued most actually was not a pay increase. It was a little bit of time off together. They've become a very close-knit team because of the support culture. And the one thing that they really, really wanted more than anything was a 3-day holiday where they actually all had a break together. So that's what we implemented. That was the most important thing to them.
Yeah, it's great that you kind of got that information from them. It would have been easy just to assume it would have been a bonus or something perhaps more traditional. And I saw some of the photographs from that, and it was great to see everyone. I thought it'd be the last thing that people would want to do, go on a holiday together. But
Simon, you picked up on something incredibly important there. I didn't know that until we surveyed them, until we actually asked them to give us these ideas. So that was, links us back to our survey. You're going to find out things by answering a list of questions or by asking your team to fill in some answers that you didn't know.
So I think taking action is the most important thing. We obviously are finding ourselves in a situation where we don't know what the future holds. The last 12 months have been extremely challenging. So taking action to get a sense of where you are now is the most important thing, so you can then start to consider what is the journey forward and how best can you support yourself and your people in maximizing their chance of success in this weird, strange and dystopian version of reality that we find ourselves in. So yeah, looking forward to engaging with any of you that would like to discuss further, but make use of the tool, because I think it will give you some really valuable and useful insights.
Excellent. Thank you, Neil.
So yes, for anyone really that is working in a stressful environment, particularly with desktop publishing or document design, working late, finding frustrations doing your own presentations and trying to hit deadlines, this is exactly what Overnight.Design is here for, to take away the stress. We provide an overnight stress-free presentation service. And really, I would urge anyone with a team that's looking to improve their team's performance, whether that's sales or marketing, to take the survey and to find, there's some really useful information, and you get a very nice summary of exactly what you could be doing to improve your team's performance.
So I'll say a big thank you to Neil Shah and Ash Pemberton for today to give us their insights. As we touched on earlier, these two organisations have come together and want to produce this online application. So it's a free tool. You just need to go along. I've got the URL here. Just go to www.bit.ly, that's bit.ly/team scorecard. So it's bit.ly/team scorecard. Just type that into your browser, hit go. It's a free survey. It will give you an instant report and some instant feedback. And if you do want to take it a step forward, then you've got their contact details there that you can do that. So that's all from us today. I hope you found that some insights. I got some insights from that. And I think what's really come out of this for me is how much both people are in agreement of you need to start with that survey. You need to start with understanding where you are so you know where to go forward. So I think this application will be a great start for you. That's it from me, over and out, and I look forward to chatting to you guys again very soon. Bye for now.